Hello, folks. I'm back at it again. Did you miss me? I was kind of gone for last week. Let me just wait to see if anyone's coming in today. Last week was the first 2 weeks. I'm going live. It's been kind of scanty, but we'll see if coming in. If it's an actual audience. If not, if you're watching this after the live, then I appreciate that as well. For those of you who are new, my name is Joel Petgrave, and this series or this podcast, whatever you want to call it, is called My Thoughts Live, where me, Joel Petgrave, share my thoughts to the internet. What could possibly go wrong, right? And so I kind of broken this up into sub genres. So I stream from every Sunday to Friday. And so this week I stream Wednesday, no, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and next week will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then and then it just rinse and repeat. So the week after that, it'll be, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it'll keep on alternating. And if that sounds confusing, no problem. All you got to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and you just get notified whenever I'm speaking. So, you don't even have to remember all that. So, see there? Win-win. So, on on the Sundays I present, Sundays is dedicated to Social Issues Sunday, where as the name suggests, we just talk about social issues, right? Different pressing topics that's, in the media and, the controversial stuff, right? And on Mondays is Money Matters Monday, where we talk about the economy, entrepreneurship, side hustles, all that good stuff. Personal finance on Money Matters Monday. On Tuesday is Tabernacle Tuesday, where we talk about church and religion, and spirituality. So, if you're interested in that, that's Tabernacle Tuesdays. On Wednesday is Wild Card Wednesday, where it's pretty much just a free fall, right? It's a day, I can talk about pretty much whatever. So, Wild Card Wednesday. Why keep yourself always in a box? It's nice to have things neat, and sometimes it's nice just to be messy. Sometimes, that's what Wild Card Wednesdays are about. On Thursdays is This or That Thursday, where we compare two competing ideologies and, compare them, contrast them, see if one's better or not, or if you need both of them. Thur- last Thursday, I went live. We did not love, emotions versus logic, and so that was kind of like a fun live stream if you're interested in that. And on Fridays, you know, last but certainly not least is Family Matter Fridays. Because how can we not talk about family when family's all that we got, right? So yeah, we talk about relationships, kids, you know, family. So if any of those topics seem interesting to you, just feel free to subscribe. You could just watch one of the topics or subtopics that are interesting to you, or if you want to go all in, just subscribe and watch all of them. But it's up to you. Choice is yours, right? So no pressure here. So this is my third week of recording. Week number one was interesting because I decided. Well, I started off doing a live stream 6 days a week, like Sunday straight to Thursday, and I knew right away that going to work. So I kind of switched it to 3 days a week, but I kind of liked my structure that I had where I had the Sunday, social issues Sunday, money matters Monday, all the way to Friday. I like that. So that's why I came up with this kind of like weird, quirky. Um, but at any given week, I'm, if all goes well, I'm committing to 3 live streams a week, and subscribe to get notifications when I do go live. So today is Sunday if you're here with me live, which according to my little software here. It is no one watching, but it's all good. It's all goody. You can watch it. Y'all can watch it later. I'm new. Nobody knows who I am. It's fine. But today, is Sunday, Social Issue Sunday, and we are talking about why people are poor. And you may be wondering, oh, this is talking about poverty. Why did it go in Money Matters Monday? Well, it's this question has gotten really politicized in the last couple of years, to say the least. Oh, also today, if you're watching live, it's gonna be a short one because, and I just remembered because I just smelled it. Like I have a like pizza dough that is like rising in behind me. Like I don't know if you could see it, but I'm extremely hungry, so I'm not gonna be here for long because like this is what my second meal for the day, and it's 6:30 in the afternoon, and so um yeah, so this is gonna be quite brief. But like I was saying, so why is this not a Money Matters Monday topic? Because, like I said, just politicized. Oh, can I speak? Politic politicization. That word. You know what I'm talking of the topic, right? You have different ideologies. It's becoming a really government-based thing, and different sides have their own opinions of why people are poor. Some people are advocating it's capitalism, it's the system, it's the matrix. Other people saying no, it's what people, the choices they make, or and everything in between about circumstances, this, that, and the other. So today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the topic. All right. So why people are poor. So I'm going to explain, give my thoughts on why I think people are poor. I'm going to go through a list of things that, the different things that I think someone being poor. And then I'm going to end with some ways, you could escape poverty or change your financial situation. So, why are people poor? I think, to be honest, I think it's a lot. It's kind of like a misleading question because I think for the most part, and let me just say this: I'm speaking specifically to the North American market for the most part because that's where I currently live. Now, I was raised, born and raised in two different islands. I was born in Jamaica, raised mostly in Bermuda. So, but I'm referencing particularly in America because one, this is where a lot of this debate takes place, and a lot of the things that I'm going to speak and opinions I'm going to share towards are specifically for this market. So, if you're watching somewhere else in the world, what I say may or may not apply to you. Um, Now, and granted, everything is my opinion, so it may not apply to you regardless, but it may not be directed towards you if you're outside of the United States. So, I forgot my water. Hold on one second. So, I think, like I said, this question's kind of like misleading because people ask, you know, why. Hold on one second. Okay, something was wrong with my camera. People are asking why people poor, and I think people are poor because they were born poor. Usually, most of the people that are in poverty or go their whole life through poverty are doing so because they were born in poverty. And that sounds very simplistic, but in my opinion, I think what happens is that I don't think we understand how hard it is for a human being to change. I know we can change, everyone's capable of changing, but generally speaking, you stay within the same sort of like system you were born in, whether it be socioeconomic, religious, ethnic group, whatever. You kind of like stay in that. Now there's some like things that's been changing as of late. Like people have been like have been the gap between the generations has been widening, but historically speaking, most people who are born in poverty usually stay in poverty. That's the reason why they are poor. Emphasis on the word are poor. The other thing is just reason why people go into poverty. I think is just circumstances. Um, Sometimes it could be, you know, uh, let me see if it gets. Sometimes it could just be, health. I think health issues is a big one. Health, health, and yeah, a health like an unexpected medical emergency can definitely ravage your finances. That's something I know from personal experience. If that I'm going through currently right now, if you know, you know. Um, but yeah, circumstances, unexpected circumstances, like it'd be medical condition, it could be a death, it could be, just the economy. Like if you were, like in the house, the real estate market at in a bubble when the bubble's about to pop, you could be left with your, tail, you know, uh, with your pants down. I think that's the saying. And the other thing I would say is life choices. Certain people, either pick up certain habits that leads to them becoming, getting to poverty, whether it be a gambling addiction, drinking, or something along that line. So, right. I think those are the main reasons why people are poor. But I think the bigger question embedded in this question, when people ask why are people poor, I think what they're really asking is why people stay poor. Why people stay poor? Because there's one reason to be poor, but like, is it possible to change? Like a lot of the politicization. Oh, I said it right that time. I think comes from the idea or come from the argument is like why can't people move up the socio-economic ladder, or is it possible, or is the system rigged against you, right? I'm going to list a couple of regions it a couple of reasons why I think people stay poor, and I'm gonna try to rank them. I'm gonna try my best to write them. I have them right here in my notes. I'm looking at them, and I'm going to try my best to kind of rank them. So right now, I'm gonna list them in no particular order, and then I'm gonna try to like rank them, which one I think has the most impact on your chances of changing your escaping poverty or changing your financial situation. All right. So the factors are as follows. I think it's hunger, the environment, knowledge, change, market, undue circumstance, and mindset. Those are that's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, perfect number. Seven factors. And this is not an exclusive list, it's just what I, kind of like thought of when I was preparing for this video of why I think, you know, people stay into poverty. Let's start with change. I'm not going in any particular order just yet. Let's start with change and then we'll reorder them later. Let's start with change. So change, as we kind of mentioned earlier, is relative. It's a hard thing to do. Like our brains as humans, we like we like routine. We like a certain like the brain likes to be in a certain rut and it doesn't like to go out of that. It likes certain habits. So it's like certain automations, and whether those things be good or bad, the brain rarely likes or likes change. So like say you're trying to lose weight, the brain hates that even though you need to lose weight. Let's say you're trying to pick up a new habit, the brain hates that because it's kind of against change. And so I think a lot of it a lot of reasons why people stay poor is because of this thing that we all have to deal with as human beings, is the resistance to change. Like, especially if you were born in a certain situation, like it becomes a sort of what's the word, homeostasis or an equilibrium. Your brain becomes so used to that environment, and it thinks that's normal, and any sort of attempt to get out of that, it kind of like there's some sort of psychological resistance. So I would say change is one of the reasons why people stay poor. Next, which is similar, is environment. Usually, if you were born into poverty, or even if you weren't born and you just ended up poor, chances are you're surrounded by other poor people. Um, and nothing's wrong, with being poor or being surrounded by poor people. That's like most of my life, right? Most of my life, it's like as from and I'm not saying this to like kind of dehumanize anybody or anything like that. Nothing's wrong with them, but from the standpoint of trying to escape poverty, um, these people are not going to like help you. I mean, they can help you with a lot of other things. They can make you laugh. They could help you. Yeah, and funny thing enough, they have a lot of wisdom. I think in the poor community, but I think there's also, but it's also laced with a lot of like fear and pessimism as well. Um, so I think the environment that you're surrounded in, not just the people, but also like the literally the physical environment. Like does it, like, for example, you dress and act and like just the culture. It's like a culture in and of itself, right? Um like you can tell when someone is like of a social, you kind of not really tell, but like there's certain things that come with being of a social economic class, right? Um and so I think your environment makes it very hard for you to escape poverty. An environment is both external and internal, because it's one thing for you to physically leave your environment. It's a whole other thing for that environment to leave you internally. Like, you ever heard the saying, you could take the pit out of mud, but you can't take the mud out of the pig, or whatever variation you may have heard of that story. Like, you could take yourself out of the ghetto, but sometimes you can't take the ghetto out of you. So like environment works both externally and internally, because we become part of our environment. The other thing I would say is, I would say undue circumstances is one of the reasons. Like, life is cruel sometimes, and a lot of sometimes, especially when you're poor, it seems like it seems like you're a magnet for this stuff. It seems like you just can't get a break. Like, it seems like if it's not one thing, it's the next, and sometimes the perfect storm can create a situation where it just becomes very, very difficult for you to situation. So like, just like rare random circumstances that just happen and devastate your life, and that could help lead to you not be able to escape poverty. The next one I would say, and all of these are kind of like interconnected, in a way, but I think they're separate things as well. The next one I would say is mindset, and this is kind of like really tied to environment and your environment and stuff like that. And a lot of people, it's become like kind of a cliche saying, because there's a lot of people talking about, like, with those with their master classes and their events, about like you need to change your mindset, and a lot of the self-help books really over market this. But I think there's a legitimate case for it, but I do feel like it's kind of over marketed a little bit. Is that mindset change, your mindset adjustment, because what you believe about money, what you believe about your ability to change your circumstances, will influence your ability to change your circumstances. So if a lot of people sometimes have this, like, the little guy versus small guy mentality, where it's like, oh, I can't do much because I'm small, or I can't make a difference, or I can't compete because I'm just a small guy, or I'm just a little guy, and the little guy, gets no help, and how am I supposed to compete with these big corporations? So I think, like, having like that type of mindset is kind of like you already gave up before you even tried, pretty much. And like I said, this is kind of like normal, because it's abnormal to think that you could be something bigger or better than you already are. That's actually abnormal. So or it takes a lot of intentional effort. Like that doesn't come just by a willy nilly. Even people that say that they do it, it doesn't come just willy nilly like that. So, um, yeah. So mindset, I think it's a very powerful contributor to like just changing your finance and also any sort of circumstances, not just financial. And so the next one is I did environment, I did mindset. I would say the next one would be like knowledge, and this goes hand in hand with mindset. But it's kind of funny, like as I'm on a personal entrepreneurial journey, and it's just crazy how much stuff like you just don't know, like how much information um that you're just not privy to. There's certain like for example, like especially when I was younger, like with my parents are a lot more health conscious now, but growing up, the stuff we used to eat and feed ourselves, we just didn't know how harmful they were. Or some of the activities or shows we used to watch, or the way we use our time, or ways to, make money. Like, you know, I didn't like growing up, a lot of times people don't know about options or stocks or investing in the stock market. We just hear people talk about it on TV, but we don't really understand these things. We don't know about equity and net worth. We don't know, there's so many things I think when you grow up poor that especially from a financial literacy perspective, that just simply don't know. You simply are just not in a community, and this ties back in again to mindset and environment where people are freely exchanging this sort of information, right? I mean, it's there, it's accessible, but it's not like freely. Usually, it's like gossip. Enter. Usually, when you're poor, like the a lot of the information is like entertainment stuff. Like because I think as we all do this as human, whether you're poor or not. I think for the most part, entertainment we use as a means to kind of like pacify us from the pains and the worries and the stresses of life. I mean, yes, sometimes we could learn stuff and it could be informational, but I think for the most part, most people watch entertainment as a means to, make the pains of life a lot easier. And I think this goes doubly true, for, poor people. And I know that was true when growing up, you focused a lot more of having fun and entertainment. You're just not privy to a lot of certain things that could lead to other certain things. So I think knowledge is a key component why people stay poor. Um, and the last thing, no, two more, no, yeah, last thing is the market. Market is similar to undue circumstances, but it has more just to do with the economy. Sometimes, like I said earlier, if you take the wrong financial position, like on like for example, let's say like you're planning to retire, right, or something like that, but like the stock market is crash, so your retirement money is like a fraction of what it used to be. So that could definitely, like, the market, I think, does play a role. This also has to do with a little bit, um maybe I should change the word from market, but the government system, I think, has or our economic system. And when I say economic system, what I'm specifically referring to is our credit based system, where we 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 have. Oh, my wife is calling. I will have to call her back, or let me see if it's an emergency. Hold on a second. Hello. Oh, I'm on live. You want to say hi? I'll call you back. Right. All right, love you. Mwah. That was my wife calling. I just want to make sure it wasn't an emergency or anything. He's in Honduras right now. But damn, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the market and economic factors has to do with we live in a credit based society, meaning that the way how most money is created here in America is based off of debt. And so that, in combination with the lack of knowledge of how to use that wisely, and just the environment we're in, is that yeah. like that leads to like a system where like you're like when you think about like interest rates, when you're in a worse financial position, you get charged more to borrow. Whereas in when you're in a better financial position, you get charged less money to borrow. And that's one of the reasons why, like the wealth gap is there. So yeah, I think those factors. So it was hunger, environment, knowledge, change, market and economics, undue circumstances, and mindset. So let's I'm gonna try to go ahead and list them in what order I think has the most impact to the least impact. Uh, I don't know. They're all kind of close. I think. Let's see. I think change, the resistance to change is probably I would probably put at the bottom. Um, because while that's something that's definitely hard, but it's something that we all know we can, like everyone knows they could kind of change. There's very few people that believe like, oh, you can be, well, let me not say that. There's some people believe you can change, some people believe you can't change. But I think there's a lot of information about, like, we're a lot more focused on therapy and paradigm shifts. I think that's a lot more popular. So I think resistance to change is the least um likely thing to keep you poor. Um, I'm gonna do undue circumstances underneath that. Um, because while they could be very debilitating and very, like, they could really like wipe you out financially, depending on what the circumstances is. Just simply because of the infrequency or the likelihood of that happening, it's probably the most reason why it's this low on the list. So it's change at the bottom. Then right above that is undue circumstances, and um, above that, I'm actually going to put environment. I think your environment, while that has a lot to play with your character, it goes back to the age-old question: nature versus nurture. Yeah, nature versus nurture. Nature being um like what you're genetically born with and stuff. That's nature. And then nurture is kind of like your environment. And um I think while the environment does shape you a lot, the fact that you could change your environment, I think what is what makes it less likely to be problematic or to keep you in poverty. Above that, I would put the market, because I think the debt-based system is really crucial, into like most of the people are poor because of debt, because they got into debt, or they don't know how to manage debt properly. Like I think not think, but Dave Ramsey built his whole platform of like get out of debt, get out of debt. And then there's people on the other side, it's like, oh, all debt's not bad. You could use smart debt and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, people get into trouble financially, because of our debt-based economy in the markets, and then recessions come, and then people are unprepared, and people get laid off, but they were living paycheck to paycheck. So I would say the market definitely plays a big role in that regard. Um, Above that, I would put mindset. Oh no, not mindset, knowledge. So I think knowledge, like is has one of the highest impacts, I think, in changing your financial situation. There's a text in the Bible. I know it's not Tabernacle Tuesday, but there's a text in the Bible that says, "My people perish," I think, from a lack of knowledge. I'm quoting. I think that's in Psalm somewhere. Um, but yeah, like I don't think people, and there's a saying, we've heard growing up, how knowledge is power, right? And I think this is so true, and especially when it comes to changing your financial position, is knowledge. And then actually I missed one when I was going through the that list, but it's number one, but this is number two under that is mindset. Um like how you think influences like almost every other thing. Like if like if you don't believe you could change, then you're not even gonna try to change because you believe you can't change. So like your mindset is like so crucial, even more important than knowledge, because you can't really do much without the knowledge if you don't have the right mindset, the right attitude. And also I just want to mention the mindset towards money. A lot of people, especially in Christian fears, grow up with money is the root of all evil, which is not what the Bible says. The Bible says the love of money, which is something completely different, right? It's like me saying, uh, I was thinking about analogy, but that one won't work. But like you get it. Like it's not money now itself. It's not evil, but it's just it's pretty talking about like greed and insatiable appetite for to get money above all other things creates all sorts of kinds of evil, right? That's pretty much what the text is saying. But yeah, if you have the right mindset, if you believe money is evil, then you're kind of working against money. You're kind of working against yourself to get out of poverty. So, like having the right mindset, I think, is probably the second most impactful thing. And the number one, and the thing that I didn't mention earlier, but I'll mention it right now, is hunger. Right. So let me define what that is real quick. What is hunger? Hunger to me is when motivation and persistence exceeds obstacles and resistance. When your motivation and persistence exceeds obstacles and resistance, that is hunger. And I think one of the like, and I don't think people understand how powerful this is, right? Just share one more text with you. Like the Bible says in the Beatitudes, blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall see God. Right? Because like hunger is like I want it. Like it's like I'm gonna get it no matter what. And this kind of ties into I put this as its own separate thing, and I think this is the most powerful thing to get out of poverty is that is hunger. Because people that have this hunger, like these are the type of people that come from like the most demoralizing, the darkest circumstances. Like it's almost like nothing can stop them because of their hunger. And like where we see people like come out of you know escape from the slave trade, or like it's like this desire that like no matter what, I'm going to die before I give up trying to succeed or trying to make my goal. That's essentially what hunger is, and I think that's so powerful, and I think that's the number one thing that could help you from not staying poor. Like if you have this, like you probably have all the other ones, or the other ones will come. Like you might not have the knowledge, you might be stuck in your environment, you might be resistant to change. But if you have the hunger, I think hunger could conquer all of those things. So um so yeah, that's I think one of the reasons why people stay poor is resistance to change, undue circumstances, the environment they live in, market forces, a lack of knowledge, a wrong mindset, and a lack of hunger. I think those are the reasons why people stay poor. Oh, excuse me. So, how to change your financial situation? Um, I'm gonna give like these are not like super in depth, but I'm just gonna give you my quick thoughts on these because I think that pizza dough is about to overrise, and I'm getting hungry here. But here's some tips. So and these are not like revolutionary tips, like game changer tips, but I think they're very practical, and I think there's something that a lot of people can act upon, right, to change your financial situation. So, like, what are ways you could change your financial situation? And a lot of these are, I don't want to say free because they do cost money, but they're not like they I don't think they will require as much as you think they will. Well, we'll find out. Let me just say them. So the first thing I think a lot of people don't really consider when or it's not really promoted as much to changing their financial situation is move. What do you mean move? Like no, just move. Like move somewhere. Like go somewhere else. I that could either be move to a different job in the same city, or move to a different location that has better pay. Because the reason why I like this, and now, well, I'll get to that later. But the reason why I like this is because chances are you could be doing the exact same work you're doing with the same level of qualifications at some other place in the country that's paying more. Now, I understand what some of you might be thinking, what about cost of living? Yes, you have to take cost of living into account. But, we have a lot of tools and resources where you could type in cost of living calculators. You could actually go on the on sites and find actual online and find actual apartments, and see what the cost of the apartment to rent there, what is cost for a house to live. We have the internet now, so we could do a lot more searching, like across the nation, and do a comparison of like, oh, they pay me X amount, and the cost of living is X amount, and you kind of compare and contrast to your current cost of living. Pretty much what you're trying to do is just find somewhere, a location where you get paid more, with expenses taken into account, obviously, um, for doing the exact same thing. And I think a lot of people don't understand, just by moving or switching either a different company or a different location, like you could be doing the exact same thing and drastically change your financial situation. Like, I guess I got this idea coming from my parents, is because when we came to the United States, we lived in Maryland because that's where my grandma and my aunt and a lot of my other relatives lived, right? And both my mom and dad were working, and I think I had gone off to college my first year, and they were looking to buy a house, but like things were too expensive, and they were kind of like in this living situation where it didn't have central AC, and it was just not a good situation there. And they were, they were looking somewhere to get out, and because I went to Tennessee, that's what kind of got them looking in the Tennessee area. And they first, before you move, physically move, they look for jobs online. They found a job, and both my mom and my dad got a job that was paying them more money, that they were in Maryland. Keeping Maryland has a much higher cost of living than Tennessee. They both got a job that paid them more money with a far lower cost of living. So that's I think that's and within like 3 6 months they were able to buy a house, and that's not something they would have been able to do in Maryland. So one of the, I think, most forgotten ways to change your financial situation, I would say, is to move. Look for either another company or another city that pays you more for doing the same thing. The next thing I would say that you could change your financial situation is like read books, or education. This goes back to that knowledge thing. I think one of the easiest ways to change your financial situation is to be more knowledgeable on a topic or a subject or at a certain skill. I think, I don't know where I heard this from, but I think they said if you read three books on any given subject, you know more than like 90% of the population on that given subject just by reading three books on that subject. So I think education, not just what we call the traditional way of, we think of education of just schooling, but just getting more skills, getting more knowledge into your head, make yourself more marketable, I think is a good way to change your financial situation. The next thing I would say is environmental assessment. You know, just take a survey. And when I say environment, this has more to do with like your social group and places you frequent. Are the places you frequent places that are helping you financially, or are they taking away from you financially? Are the people around you, like, what is their mindset? Are they very negative? Are they very positive? um Another saying that I always heard growing up is that if you average the income of your five closest friends, that's kind of what the income you would make, right? So if you're surrounded by, if all your close friends are broke and all of them are negative, or even just the places you frequent. Is it a place where, like, if you're visiting a casino every weekend, you have to assess your environment and, like, weed out and cut out. I know it sounds kind of harsh, but you're gonna have to cut out certain people in certain places and certain things, to kind of change. And this will also help you change with the mindset and everything, and help you, change your financial situation. The next one I want to talk about is sacrifice. Um, like, a lot of this one, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and I don't like it. Nobody likes it because we like our things. We like to have it all. We want to have our cake and eat it. But, see, are there anything in your life financially that you could sacrifice, you could give up? It could be a subscription to a video hosting platform like Netflix or something like that. It could be you might have to sacrifice a vacation for the year. It could be cutting stuff out of your grocery list. I remember one time, we're going through, like, and we still are going through some financial hardship, and we just had to cut certain stuff out of the grocery list. Like, do I need this? Like, for example, I was really big on orange juice, and it's like, we don't really need to buy orange juice. We could just buy oranges. It's a lot cheaper, right? Is there anything that you need to cut out that you could do without for like a year or 2 years, just to get, to a certain degree? Maybe you need to sacrifice. Maybe you're in a nicer car. Maybe you need to trade that car in and get something cheaper. What are you willing to sacrifice? And I think people really underestimate the power of, like, being able to, like, sacrifice something. And when the word sacrifice just doesn't mean giving up. It means you're giving up something now to get something later and better in the future. So don't just think like you're suffering, but it's for a purpose, right? So sacrifice, maybe going out on the weekends or eating out, or what can you sacrifice? And the last thing, and this is not an exhaustive list, but like I said, I'm hungry and I'm about to eat that pizza. It asks for help. This is, I think, when it comes to finances, we think we're very apprehensive about opening up to other people about our finances. And this is something that, like, I've kind of struggled with, as, like I said, we're kind of going through some sort of hardship, or on our own, is that asking for help. Like, sometimes, it could be a partner, or it could be a family member or a relative or a friend. You just ask for help, like financial advice. Ask for, like, ask to find a mentor to help you, you know get certain goals or anything. Or it could be through therapy. Like, just ask for help. Like, life is hard, and there's probably a million other things going on through your finances. It's okay to ask someone else to help you, find get a coach, or, just someone who can, or even just an accountability partner to keep you accountable on certain things. um so, or, just, ask for, like, someone, like, hey, take somebody, offer to buy them lunch or coffee shop, and just ask them about their expertise. How do you get in this position? How you get in that position? And just by doing those things, I think, that those can drastically change your financial situation and get you out of poverty. So what do you think, um about power? What do you think people are poor? Why do you think people stay poor? Is it all their fault? Is it the system rigged? Is it a combination of both? I would love to see your comments down below. And remember to like and subscribe for more videos. I'm about to eat this pizza, and I'll catch you on the flip.